We're here with Neil Howes with New Directive Consultants. He's very active in the community. He's also run for office several times, and we're here to talk about some community issues in the Lake Norman area. So thank you for coming on the show, Neil.
Hey, thank you, Lori. Thank you, Jennifer. How's your son doing? Everything fine?
He's doing great, yeah.
That's good. We met at the chamber and we were discussing, and I think one of the most important things is the Spark of 1775. It's a marketing plan for this area. As you realize, Davison has the college. Cornelius has the lake. Huntersville has history.
Mm-hmm.
The Spark 1775 is related to the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, which was actually signed May 31st. The story goes, a bunch of guys got ticked off, businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
Their money was going to England.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Washington and Raleigh today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you know, back then, the water wasn't that safe, so they got together, they drank. They drank and talked, politics, okay. One guy said, let's do something. They signed a declaration. Even one of our former commissioners, Mr. Puckett's ancestor, is one of the signers, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, they woke up the next day, oh my God, what do we do? Several stories. They buried it, they burned it, that's where I get the spark, or I found some more research that Captain Jack went to Winston-Salem en route to Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
He was almost hung by loyalists, and then he escaped, went up to Philadelphia, where they had a Continental Congress, gave it to certain members. At that point, it disappeared. Now, some stories, now this could be fiction, I don't know, that actually Thomas Jefferson got it, stole it from us. You know how Jefferson was. He didn't always tell the truth, and okay, who knows? Yes, I understand that's a kind of a joke. But the thing is this, the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence is real. It's on our North Carolina seal. We started the American Revolution War. We don't get credit for it. We were the first area to succeed from England. Wonder why we're called the Hornet's Nest. We also helped end it. Cornwallis, okay, was heading down this area. He was running low on supplies, all right? And at that point, there were more skirmishes because Washington was learning guerrilla warfare, Vietnam War, okay? Cornwallis was running low on supply, heading down the Yorktown, okay? He made the wrong turn, missed the boats. Next thing you know, he's surrounded by the forces, no supply, no ammunition, and that's why he surrendered. Plus, his wife said he wanted to come home. You know, let's face it, after a long time. It's a typical example, just like the Vietnam War. I did a paper on that.
So what's the concept around the marketing plan to incorporate more of that history into the draw to these communities?
Yes, in other words, all right, have you ever been to Helen, Georgia, or Williamsburg?
Been to Williamsburg.
Okay.
Williamsburg.
Well, Helen, Georgia is just like it's a German town, German Switzerland. It's fictitious. A couple of businessmen got together in the 60s and built up there towards that type of decor. Next thing you know, the whole town is like that. Okay, we can do it with Huntersville voluntarily. Don't force them. As your facades on your businesses change or whatever, you make it colonial. We make this into a colonial town one by one. Okay. In other words, if you take a look at Huntersville, we have businesses, shopping centers, are closing, are empty.
Right.
They did it the modern way. Didn't work. We need to have tourism. Tourism is dollars. Dollars is tax revenue. Tax revenue, then the political leaders can have some actual dollars to do something with. With restaurants, hotels, clothing. Your small businessmen, who are basically the backbone of our country, can survive.
Now, is anybody working on this right now, or is this?
Just right now, it's my company. I've got the trademark. I'm in finalizing it to get it, copyrighted. One reason I'm on this show today, that this will actually be a film with what I've done, everything else. It shows that I'm discussing it, promoting it, and I'll be going to my copyright attorney and get everything really finalized.
Well, what has to happen first? What are the first few steps that have to take place for something like this? Because that's a huge undertaking.
Hey, no, it's not. We have to accept our history. That's the first thing. If our political leaders accept it, and our leaders of our community accept it and promote it, that's the first thing. You have to talk about it, you have to think about it, you have to visualize it. Once you do that, everything falls into place.
And is the idea that you would tie this in to other historic attractions, Latta Plantation,
Well,
Burrell
yes.
Hill,
All right,
and
all right,
make it a historic
yeah, we could start
region?
off with, let's say, the Loch Norman Games. We've had that established in April. Do a great job. I mean, you just did the show with the dogs, okay?
Right.
I know Ed works very hard. All right? We tied in for that. Then we have basically a month-and-a-half long festival, starting off Loch Norman Games, maybe have parades, festival, and eventually then on May 31st we have a Merchants Ball. We do a reenactment of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, and then we take it up to Winston-Salem, and then we take it up to Philadelphia. It's called promotion, marketing. Very simple.
And what are some of the other issues that you've been involved in or that you're passionate about that you feel are affecting the community?
When I ran for Congress, I talked about child support. Ladies and men are not getting their child support on time. One of the reasons is you're looking at across the state lines. The state legislators, I've talked to the federal, no one really wants to get involved, but the trouble is the system's not working. If you talk to any woman or any men who own or get child support from across state line, it's terrible to get. One reason is you have people who say they're not making any money. They're self-employed. They'll show financial statements, $0. I was business administration, a tax auditor, banker. You can make a financial statement look like anything you want to. You can make a tax return look like anything you want to. The trouble is the people who make decisions in the courts will look at that and don't know what they're looking at. Next thing you know, zero income, no money, or they reduce it, or he can't pay it when he can. In other words, if you produce a child in this world, it's your responsibility. And I keep trying to tell people, because I'm a Stephen minister at my church also, once you're married, even though you get divorced and you have children, you are always married until those children are 18 and gone. And try to hurt the spouse for not paying child support, you're actually hurting the child. And this is what happens. The wife works 3 or 4 jobs, okay? She doesn't come home. The kids come home at 2 o'clock. They're alone. Mom's not coming home until never, right? They invite their friends over. There's where the sex, the drugs, the pregnancies happens. Happens in my neighborhood. Happens in everybody's neighborhood. If the kids are left alone with the vices today, the temptations today, hey, come on, it's out there all the time.
So how are you, your company, how are you getting involved with making change with that?
Well, you know, it's like anything else. Part of my division, I have subcontractors. I'm putting people back to work. I had this company in 1994. That's when I started it. And I played around with it as a tax auditor, having worked with businesses, their business personal property, knowing relationship. I put kind of people together outside of Mecklenburg County. Nothing related to my work, because you couldn't do that. Then I incorporated in 2004, playing with some more ideas. Then, when I retired from Mecklenburg County, and my last election, I was through with government. I said, that's it. Issue solutions, I had enough. I needed a break. People weren't listening. I kept losing. Tired of government, the whole 9 yards. Selling golf equipment, having a ball, making money. Boss was a crook. We went bankrupt, but I was still miserable. I realized I was not doing what I was meant to be. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I knew from day one.
What?
I wanted to work in the apparel industry.
Okay.
So.
How about you?
I think I wanted to be a psychiatrist.
Okay. So now you're a TV host. Ask me.
Well, I worked for the Federal Reserve for almost 20 years before
They'll
this,
do that
but
to you too. But ask me.
What'd you want to be when you grew up?
Age 4.5, me and my grandfather are watching Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And when I saw that at the end, where Jeb Smith, okay, Jimmy Stewart, gives his paws to Claude Rains, the gray hair guy, senator, brings in all those lies in, okay, all those telegrams. He's been on the floor for, 36 hours, whatever, half exhausted. He sees those lies, and then what he says is this: I don't care, these are lies. He talked to Claude Rains and he said, remember when you said about lost causes? Well, this may be another lost cause. All the Taylor's people in the world, That movie was made in 1939, wasn't it? And it's still prevalent today. So I'm going back to be a statesman.
Well, good. You have a lot of, you know, you're very active. You have a lot of great ideas, and keep us posted on how things are going with your ideas. And
Okay.
when I think, you know, I'd love to see more history in this area, and not as much of the, you know, the new construction, the new office buildings, and keep it quaint.
And again, thank you very much for doing
Yeah, thank
the
you for
show.
coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we appreciate it.